It's showtime. It is Wednesday. It is Jay Daly show. But unfortunately, Jay is running 5 minutes late. So it's just me talking to you. But before we continue, please take a moment to like and subscribe. You have all the buttons down there. Ding, 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 dong. Here we go. Are you ready to rumble?
Five, four, three, two, one.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. Yet again, we are here on a Wednesday night, and we have a lot of things to talk about. We are waiting for Jay Daly, who is just getting ready. He's warming up. He's been stretching. You know, Jay Daly's lifting a lot of weights, so takes a little bit time. You know what I mean? But anyway, big up to everyone that's tuning in. As deluded before, please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video because we have a lot of things to talk about today. I mean, Jay Daly, if you know Jay Daly, he speaks many languages, but one thing that he does speak the best is facts, cold hard facts. And we're going to talk about the Jadon Sancho situation, of course, Harry Maguire, Antony dos Santos, the current state of the club, if you know what I mean, the takeover as well, what's going on there with the latest rumbling in the media that's causing a frenzy at the moment. We're going to debunk with the Snapdragon sponsorship. As you can see, I'm wearing the Snapdragon as I'm fully aware who they are as well. Regarding also the Adidas sponsorship and what are the Glazers doing? On the planet to stay? Are they planning to go? All that stuff. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's been madness in terms of off the pitch since we haven't played a game. But we do play a game on Saturday, so we're going to focus on that as well. So while we are cooking, while we are waiting for Jay Daly, I want to basically go to the VER room, and that's you, the audience, to give you a shout out for everyone that's in the room. I can see you, and I will shut you out before Jay Daly comes into the stream as well. I can see that Edward Reed is in the house in the VR room. Big up to you, Edward Reed. With the Glazers just securing a huge church sponsorship, millions are coming into the club from it. Maybe this is an indicator they are still going to stay. Edward, keep your powder dry because we're going to unpack everything as a community. You can ask me the questions, but I also want to hear what Jay has to say about this as well. Jolly Malmin is saying 1 billion dead Glazer will not stay, but I don't think the owner will be Qatar. I think that the owner will be Qatar, and I don't not think the new owner will be Sir Jim. I see a third party getting the club. Well, it's a good point, Yali. I hope you're doing well. I see you are from Norway. We're going to talk about that as well. So hold your beer, coffee, whatever you're drinking. I'm actually having a coffee. So you can see there if you want to donate further, you can super chat, of course. We don't take any dividends, but we do take your super chat sometimes because everything that you put into this channel goes back into the channel. So that we can produce more content like this. But also, in terms of coffee, you see the barcode down there, buy me a coffee. You can go into that link, you can scan the code and decide if you want to buy me and Jay a coffee or two or pizza or beer, whatever you think it's suitable. Let's continue. Brendo is in the house as well. Big up to you. On the flip side, I'm excited to see Hoyland and Amrabat play for United. Big up. Finally, we're talking football, Brendo. I absolutely agree with you. That's going to be a revolutionized way that Manchester United is going to play football. And we're going to see the 2.0 of Eric Ten Hag ball. Total football control. Basically, you have Onana playing out from the back. You have an Amrabat that will receive the ball and transport the ball further up the pitch. And you will have a Rasmus Højlund as a focal point. That means he will hold up the play, he will link up the play, and he will, how do I say, how do I say? There's a word for it. Liberate Bruno and everyone to keep running from behind and stuff like that. So big up to you, Brendo. Thank you for your contribution in chat. Edward Patel, big up to you. Could Jim Rack give him voting rights they're asking for? We're going to talk about that as well because it's on my agenda, Edward, to be honest. You know what? Marlin Patel is also saying Manu stock 1949. Yeah, stock prices is a madness. And we're going to talk about that. What does it mean when the stock prices is low and what the stock prices is high? And what does it mean for each contributing party? Angie is also saying good evening, Mick, Jarvis, Jay Daly, Mods Chat VR Room. Today it's only me and Jay Daly, to be honest to God. So big up to you, Mama Angie. What would we do without you, Mama Angie? And Rabbi Bakir is also here saying big up everyone. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. Thank you for tuning in. There is about how many people are tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button because Jay Daly just pulled into the garage. So let's get ready to rumble, people.
Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world
on MUFC Realist TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
And he's back, fresh from Spain, from a stag party, looking tanned. How you doing, Jay? The only one that I know that speaks many languages, but the one that speaks a fantastic language is facts. Jay, how you doing?
Mick, my friend, good to be here. How you, pal? You good?
Oh, well, man, I am looking forward for this show today. I cannot lie, man. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I am good. Good.
So, I go away for a couple of days, and the telenovela soap opera that is our club continues without abatement. So, first of all, do we do Baby Sancho? Do we do Harry Maguire loving with the English media? Or do we do the new shirt deal that may see the Glazers linger on like cockroaches after a popularity war? What do you want to hit first?
I have a suggestion, Jay. Why don't we ask the VR room, the people that, without them, there would not be a content.
Agreed.
Just two pals sitting and talking facts. So, guys, let us know what you want to start with because Jay has sharpened his knife. He's ready. His tongue is sharp. He's been away. He's back.
Oh man, it's vicious. It's absolutely vicious. Like I've had 5 nights of wildness in Magaluf. So yeah, I'm all talked out. So
first one, we have Maguire Gate.
Okay.
Straight.
Okay. So the public has spoken. They want me to do Maggie Maguire. I captioned the phrase a couple of years ago, Maggie Maguire, because I almost thought Maguire was a pussy, and he's a pussy, and he's been protected by the English media. It's all this arm around the shoulder for Harry. Oh, you can't boo him. You can't criticize him, irrespective of his blatant underperforming on the pitch for not 1 season, 3 seasons. Obviously, we can't blame him for the price. We blame that on Solskjaer and on Woodward. However, what I do blame is his friends in the English media constantly bigging him up like the second coming of Cannavaro. He's a 6'4" fucking pussy, plain and simple. He has the turning speed of an oil tanker. When he played beside Lindelof for those seasons, he let Lindelof always take on the bigger center forward, and he almost took the other center forward. Let Lindelof do it. Okay, Wan-Bissaka got slated by the fan base because Wan-Bissaka could never go forward. He took him beside Maguire and basically hold his hand. And now you know what's going to happen. It's written. Friday, the press conference. The English hacks sitting there are going there. Well, Eric, how do you feel about Harry? Is Harry starting tomorrow? Blah 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 blah. What do you make of Southgate's comments during the week? And Ten Hag has to sit there. Ten Hag has to lie through his teeth. Okay, he has to sit there and lie. He has to lie. He's got to come out with bullshit like, well, yeah, Harry, he's very important. He's a member of the squad. and I think Harry will has to work with us and blah blah blah. He wanted Harry fucking gone months ago.
Yeah, he did.
He took the captaincy away from him. He's 5th choice centre back. Harry Maguire is the luckiest motherfucker in the world playing football. 3 centre backs injured, and all of a sudden he's going to play against Brighton. Wait for it. He is going to play against Brighton. I'll tell you here right now, right? Evan Ferguson will put Maguire in a body bag on Sunday. He's going to absolutely destroy him. He's going to be destroyed by an 18-year-old kid. Evan Ferguson is sitting at home licking his lips knowing all I got to do the weekend is beat Harry Maguire.
But
Happy days.
Depends on if he starts or not, right? Because
if he starts, he smash Harry Maguire. I'll tell you right now, Mick, I'll call it, right? Maguire starts, Ferguson plays. We'll lose 3-1.
Yeah, probably.
I'll call it now.
Yeah, but if we play a little bit of a devil's advocate, under no shape or form are we here to slag any player, but I tend to look at, criticism is due. We look at the performance of the pitch, not the player himself, right? You just want to put it out there because at the end of the day, I agree with you that British media are kind of protecting him, like a cotton wool, you know what I mean, and bigging him up. And, but barring what come out after the transfer window was closed, that he didn't want to leave, he must be looking at himself right now after the England performance with the toe poke to saying, why didn't I leave? You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
hang on a second. He thought that going to West Ham was beneath him.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Harry. Who are you to think that West Ham United Football Club is beneath you? If anything, if I was a West Ham fan and I was getting Harry Maguire, I'd be thinking, oh, Jesus, no. He's the last player we want is Harry Maguire. Yeah. Then the club were trying to get rid of him, paying him £6 million, my friend. He's on £12 million a year, over the next 3 years. That we would have made. They were giving us, £6 million to get rid of him. He wanted 12 million full payoff, but wouldn't accept it. So that's the mentality of the former club captain. And also, that's the weak, soft mentality, Mick, that goes through that entire squad. Now, Ten Hag, to his credit, he is slowly undoing the psychological damage that Solskjaer did to that squad. Solskjaer, right. Everyone's best friend. He had a pet name for all the players. Arm around their shoulder, happy, smiley. I'm sorry, my friend, but happy, smiley, empathy wins you fuck all.
True. Now, you're speaking facts, my friend. At the end of the day, I just want to understand where did things go wrong for him, to be honest, and Gareth Southgate, that was his security blanket, I will always be playing for England no matter what, but he's under the mud as well, I guess, because Harry saved Harry, like Harry Kane saved Harry with that 3-1 goal scoring. They were doing fine until they substituted him in and he did that toe poking thing and everyone was singing, oh, Harry Maguire, but where did it all go wrong? I mean, what do you think? Clearly he was a better, centre back when he was playing for Leicester, to be honest.
Where did it go wrong? First of all, he was made captain. I firmly believe that straight away put a target on his back for the fans. Okay, if you're captain of the club, you better be the best player on that pitch performance-wise. Not technically the best player, but performance-wise. Wiki McGout, you better be giving 7 out of 10s. Wiki McGout. You better be able to motivate your troops pre and post match. And you sure as hell better to come out and face the media, look the camera dead in the eye, and take ownership of your performances and take ownership of your mistakes. Yeah. Classic Harry Maguire post-match interview. So, Harry, 2 own goals today. How do you feel? Harry looks down at his feet. Well, I think the forwards should have done a bit more. Yeah, he actually said when I lost and he had a business performance, blamed it on his forwards. Now, you're a leader. We discussed leadership before on the show, Mick. You've worked in many leadership roles, as have I. When I have messed up on a decision that has not turned out how I wanted to be, that has been my call. You fall on your sword as a leader and you acknowledge your mistake. And that garners respect from your teammates and your work colleagues. And you learn from the mistake, and next time your decision making will improve. Whereas Harry, oh no, sorry, Harry is infallible. And the English media have made him infallible by the arm on your shoulder, constant support to him. Whereas players like Bruno get slated in English media because Bruno's not English, and Bruno's a fireband. It's always the phrase that I almost use is this jingoistic English media. And I think Southgate was very truculent in his comments. He used the word Harry played in one of the most successful English sides of all time. I'm sorry, but what have you actually won, Mr. Southgate? Absolutely nothing.
So you're alluding to that the press is also protecting Southgate. You know?
Yes, they are 100%.
Is it possible that it is a little bit of that Stockholm syndrome, that you should feel sorry for the victim, right? Is that what we're seeing right now? I'm just trying to understand why this treatment, and it's that the moral compass that you shouldn't, boo somebody. You shouldn't.
Why not? Why not?
No. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just wondering, is that the concept, and is that why the so-called British media protecting their own, like the Southgates, the Harry Maguire? But clearly, like, if you want to win something, you put the best team on the pitch. You don't pick your favorites. No.
There was a guy called Johnny Giles. He played for United in the 50s. He won the FA Cup in 58, I think, and also played for Leeds on that great team with Don Revie. He was a pundit on Irish TV for 25, 30 years. He said, and I quote, "Football is a very simple game. You put the best players in their best positions and let them play to a game plan."
Okay.
That's it.
This kind of translate over to the next topic, according to my opinion as well. And that comes down to Erik ten Hag and Jadon Sancho. That comes down to that statement, the blatant statement that media has been inflating, comes down to a back of a loss, horrible loss, honest to God. We got robbed for the VR decision and stuff like that. And the media, you can clearly see that Erik ten Hag was very frustrated because he thought like we would have won this game, right? And agitated as he was, he got that question. He simply, as the direct as ten Hag is, simply said, "Listen, I only pick the players for the right occasion, who are fit, who are showing some grit and determination. And this time it wasn't Jadon Sancho because I didn't believe he did well in training this week. So I only want to put the best team in place. I'm the gaffer, right?" Yeah. And what did we see? 40 minutes later, a statement from Jadon Sancho. And the way I read into this statement, you can, I see it differently than everyone else. I will tell you my version. Jadon Sancho put in that, "Don't believe the lies, what they're writing." Basically, there's 2 paragraphs, basically.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lies. Basically, what he's calling out the media, what they say. Number 2, he's backing himself up to say, "Look, I'm always a professional. I always train hard, and I'd give everything from the badge, and I've been used as a scapegoat for many times." He goes back to the, when the England cap, when he missed the penalty as well, that he's been scapegoated by the media as well. So the way I read into his tweet was he's having a go at the media and the blatant lies. So what's going on behind the scenes, we don't know. But what I see this past week has been media has been creating like a Mexican showdown, charade out of it. They're making a meal out of it. Well, we don't really know. But apparently they had some talks the other day, and that he's taking down the tweet and everything, the kissed up and made up. But at the end of the day, knowing ten Hag, what we know, he is an authoritarian. He's a disciplinarian, right? We've seen it. But he has also a very good heart, right? We've seen how he's instilled that mentality, the 10 commands of you should follow. Don't be late, you'll be punished, right? So do you think that in your world, in your mindset, that he's been lazy or whatever the media is saying, or What's the reason? What's the reason regarding this Mexican showdown, according to your opinion?
Okay, the first thing I would say, if Jadon Sancho was an England starter and one of Southgate's favourites, there will be no media showdown whatsoever. The media will be going in on Ten Hag and backing Sancho to the hilt. First of all, Mick, I do firmly believe that. Okay, clearly Sancho is not one of the favourites in the social media, in the British media and by the journalists. So it doesn't suit their narrative to come in and support him. Okay, so that's my belief. And again, no more than yourself, Mick, I'll always have my own slant on things. That's my personal belief.
No, that's why you're on this channel.
Yeah, so Ten Hag, he's a disciplinarian. We are led to believe he's disciplinarian. Yes, but maybe he's disciplinarian with certain players and not with others. For instance, just again playing devil's advocate. Okay, so Ten Hag is such a disciplinarian, and Marcus Rashford is playing, and Rashford is doing his normal, not pass, run down behind Dalys, lose possession, not track back. Surely such a disciplinarian would take Rashford off. He doesn't do that. So I think, again, just to put another flip on it, I think all managers have their favourites. They'll have certain players that literally they can't be arsed about. I think Sancho is one of them. So he's probably more disciplinarian with Sancho, I think, in my personal opinion. Now, to pull apart discipline and lack of professionalism in sport, we've seen, and it's come out over the weekend last week, that Sancho was pulling the same stunts at Dortmund.
Yeah, this according to article by Laura Whitwell, it goes more into detail about Sancho's history. They're digging deeper.
Yeah, and we discussed ourselves off air that if Pep Guardiola honestly believed he was going to get a tune out of, and again, by the way, I now have coined the phrase "baby Sancho." He's a baby. He's a baby. That's what he is. He's not private. He's a baby. He's a big baby. So Pep couldn't get a tune out of him. He felt that Sancho, I'm so talented, I'm this and that. I've been the best player at youth level all the way up. Now at Man City, I'm going to start, I'm going to play. But Pep Guardiola, to his credit, same as Mourinho, demands a high standards and a high degree of work ethic. And clearly, Sancho was not displaying that work ethic. So when opportunity came, shipped him out to Dortmund, Man City backing their manager, believing that, okay, this player is not what I want. Okay, you can go. Bye-bye. Now, United, on the other hand, spent an entire summer, chasing Sancho. You recall a certain individual on a certain other channel, the whole summer, the 90% club bollocks. Remember that? We all know that. We all know that crap. And I'm there thinking, this is just for clicks, likes, and shares. I was like, thought it was a bill of bullshit. Sancho comes in. Name one game that Sancho grabbed it by the balls and ripped it apart. He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. Now, last season,
five
club
performances that he's been outstanding.
Yeah, so kind of like a poor man's Pobga. All the money, big salary, all trappings of fame, the massive, massive big ego, but just not doing it on the pitch. Last season, he was given 3 months off to go and rehabilitate. And the club gave the spin of mental health. Mental health is like the shield that modern players and modern society can hide behind. Okay? If you have a talent to be a professional athlete in any sport, with modern day sports psychology that you're getting in the academy all the way up and up and up and up. Your self-confidence and self-belief is developed. Your coping skills to cope with pressure, to cope with mental anguish, to cope with fatigue, that's built up from the academy. But secondly, in the article, second point, they had to give him his own timetable to get his lazy ass out of bed earlier, to get to the training ground an hour earlier than the other players. Now, Mick, you've worked a lot of professional jobs. Did your boss ever have to give you your own personal time schedule to get to the office for the other staff? No, because same in my business, in the hotel business, my staff don't turn up on time. Guess what happens to them?
Yeah,
they don't have a job.
Yeah,
so professional footballers are wrapped up in cotton wool. They're given these long contracts, so they know, okay, I've got a 3 or 4 year deal, an X amount of money per week. If the club want to sell me, they've got to pay off my contract. The players are so protected because the power, unfortunately, Mick, is with the player, not with the club. And I think that is the inherent problem.
Yeah. Can I get back to you on what you just said? Like, basically, I picked up the flexible timing. Yeah, totally agree. There's certain players that get some privilege back in the days under Fergie. If you talk about Roy Keane, because they performed. So basically, the gaffer said, okay, Roy, you've done well. I'll give you a little bit extra time off. You deserve it. But that's, how do I say, that's backed up by contribution, hard work, performance. And going back to what you said, the problem with the modern days players, with the mentality, they're like porcelain dolls, right? They cannot stand constructive criticism. And I think the major contributor factor of them becoming this weak mentality is money, to be honest. You throw too much money on a young kid, of course, you're going to party, you're going to, yoo-hoo, you know what I mean? Well, the modern professional footballer, like take Sofian Amrabat, for instance. I'm just going to quote his interview when he held up his press conference, when he held up the shirt and talked about Manchester United. And the interviewer asked him, like, simple question, like, what do you do, like, for your leisure? And so he said, basically, honest to God, Erik ten Hag told me a long time ago, football is a way of life. I don't have time for leisure. I eat, I recover, I sleep, I train, because my career is very short and I want to be. And it's like, how do you describe your style of play? And he said basically like this, and this is what I really love about this guy. He said, I don't like to talk to myself. I demonstrate it on the pitch. Boom. That's it. Now, in the past, what you're going back to say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time, it was more of a, let's all get together around the bonfire. Let's pick up a guitar and sing Kumbaya, my Lord, and all that stuff and hold hands. That was kind of thing. So Ole, according to my opinion, was picking players that did well in training, but not on the result on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not what you do in training, it's basically what you're doing on the pitch. And that's the misconception that I'm reacting to. That's the reason why you saw Scott McTominay, because every single manager was picking Scott because they saw something. He did extraordinary things in training, but as soon as he came to that pitch, under the floodlights of theatre of dreams, he caved.
My expression on Scott McTominay was, and we had it during my cycling days, it was literally trains like Tarzan, but races like Jane. There's certain guys, like down the years, and they'd rip the legs off you in a climb.
Yeah.
Put them in a race with a number on their back. They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And just back to you're saying there, Amrabat and the mindset that his free time is focused on recovery, get the job done and win. And to further develop the point there about the structure of the day and life of a pro athlete. So because I was trying to think how would I explain this? I didn't want to go too in depth and bore people. But Mick, as you know, in the 90s and 90s, I bounced around Spain for many years, riding with pro cycling teams.
I know.
Now, For anybody watching, they were the equivalent of playing championship football. That was the level. No higher. That was the level. See, but you're trying to get that contract, get to the next level. Okay? So everyone's on a 1-year contract. You're paid a couple of €100 a month. A couple of €100 a month, and you get your apartment. You're racing for prize money. Okay?
Sure.
Every cent won by the team. End of the season was put into a pot, and everybody got the same share. That was it. And the following year, you might pick up another team or get another contract offered. 1 year. Can you imagine, Mick, how hungry we were to perform?
Yeah, 100%.
And we were lads in our 20s, young lads, you know. So our day, we'd meet at the team lockup 7:30 in the morning. That means you were up at 7 a.m. to eat your breakfast. You meet, and so you're up 90 minutes before you meet. You rock up, full kit ready to go. Team briefing, 15 minutes. Everyone has an espresso.
Like I do now.
9 a.m. we roll out.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Okay.
If you were late by 15 minutes, 15% of your pay that week was deducted. Now, bear in mind, Mick, we were on a couple of €100 a week each, and we're getting a free apartment. Not exactly big money, my friend. So imagine you're getting docked 15% of your wages for the week if you're 15 minutes late. 30 if you're half hour late. Lads weren't late, my friend. Nobody was late. So it goes to your point. These young players get paid far too much, far too soon. They think they sign that contract, they have it made. And that is prevalent throughout football. But our club is worse because we pay the biggest wages, we get the long-term contracts, so standards have dropped. The further development, Mick, in the NFL, every player that's drafted in the NFL from college, they have to sit down with the coaches, and they are grilled psychologically by the coaches. So they have to achieve all their stats, you know, the bench press, 60-yard dash, the press up, the pull up, the vertical jump, standardized testing. And then they have to do an interview with the staff, and they're grilled. So the testing psychologically and the interview is more important to the team than the physical stuff, because they want to know, can this person function in my team, and will they crack under pressure? Our recruitment staff clearly do not do any psychological testing when they're signing a player.
Okay. I would just want to engage with the big up for everyone. Sorry for not engaging with you in the VR room. We see you. We are just talking facts, letting out loud. But big up Kev McGee here as well. Elite mentality, 100%. That's what we're talking about. And you're a big fan of Mama, but as ready. If I may come back to what you're saying with an analogy, right? You know.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of things in my life, and it comes down to team environment. And when it comes to any company that's hiring salespeople, right, you always want to make sure that you hire the hungriest salesperson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you already starting giving them like, you know, small base, but 70% commission, they'll be hungry. They will chase exactly what you describe about you racing. Otherwise, you become complacent. Right? If I'm getting 70% base salary and 30% commission, I'm going to sit there and say, oh, whatever. If I don't make a sale, I'm still going to get paid. So in every interview, what I used to have when I used to recruit people, I used to say a trick question. I always say, like, you know, here's a question for you. I recruit top salespeople. I said, would you rather stop a running stallion than kick a mule in the ass? You know what the answer is? What would you say, Jay? They always answered, kick the mule in the ass. I said, why? Yeah, because it's lazy, yeah. I said, wrong answer, because you don't stop the running stallion, because the running stallion will run through the brick walls, clear the path, and create the path for everyone to be successful. You know? if you kick the mule in the ass, that means that I'm lazy, I don't want to do. Is it going to help? You lived in Spain, so you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't help if you kick the mule in the ass; it will still be a mule. You know what I mean?
Still a mule. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Boom, well, I like that. I like that. It's very good.
Milos Mitic, all the way from Serbia. He's saying something in Serbian that I have to translate. By the way, people, yes, this is a Snapdragon Pro series because I worked with Snapdragon and ESL Gaming in the all the Snapdragon tournaments with Manchester United as well. So that's why I'm wearing this. This is a beautiful logo, by the way. So if this is the shirt sponsor, you will have this beautiful Snapdragon. Milos Mitic is wondering. He has a question. Imam pitanje, Mick, za vaš šta mislite da i Ten Hag da bude trener u Manchester naredne sezon ako se ne osvaja neki trofej? He's asking, Jay, basically Milos is saying, he's got a question for you. Do you think that Erik Ten Hag will still be the trainer or the manager of Manchester United if he doesn't get a trophy or finish top 4 this season?
Yeah, I think he will. I think you will. By the way, it's a great question. It's a great question. It really is. I think last season, he overachieved. Last season, still no striker. Last season, third place and a cup with no striker. He overachieved last season. So if he doesn't get top 4, doesn't win a trophy, yeah, I think he should be kept. 100%.
I think so too. Back to manager, please. Because we've seen this concept before, Jay. Right? We cooked this soup before. We had pedigree CVs in. We had Louis van Gaal. Of course, it was a little bit pragmatic, but he had an idea. We had your favorite manager was the Jose Mourinho, right? He's a serious winner. He came out to finish second with that team was an achievement, his biggest achievement in his career. Then we had Ole Gunnar Freestyle. Then we have the open heart surgery, Ralph Ragnick. They called the club out. They kicked him out quick as they could. Now he's managing Austria. And now we have Erik Ten Bold Hard. Thank God. According to my opinion, he's adopted the way. He understands what Manchester United is. He understands the culture, the vision. And his number 2 is McLaren, if you know what I mean. You see that he's in a disciplinarian, the hair dryer is out. He wants to instill a winning mentality. And the only way to do this is to instill discipline. Discipline.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah. Have a question because VR Room is kind of wondering. James is saying, Jay, why did you leave the United Stand?
I left for many reasons. I discussed it on the show previously. I don't particularly want to get into it again. But let's just say it became too soft for my taste. So I left.
Creative differences.
Yeah, exactly. Creative differences.
100%. All right. Another thing is when we're talking about recovery, Jay, you know that I know that lifting weights, and training, you got to take care of your diet. You got to take care of your body, and you got to talk about Pobga.
Well, look, first of all,
what do you call it? Testicular
fortitude. I've always believed, like, basically, see, I rode for the national team back as a teenager, so like we were almost taught how to do it right. So you train hard, recover harder. You're out doing 3 or 4 hours in the pissing rain. When you come back, you eat and you rest and you stretch and you do nothing until the following day. And do it again. Whereas you train hard, and if your diet suffers, your sleep suffers, and then you expect that evening to go out chasing ladies or go to nightclubs and bars, the following day your legs can't recover. You can't do it again. Same thing. I don't know which of the players in the club, but it came out. Maybe you might know there were certain players in the club were up till all hours playing Call of Duty or some computer games. For all hours during the Solskjaer era, coming in tired and not putting in training, and he just let them away with it because, again, lack of sleep. So recovery is key.
Recovery is key in everything. This is how you grow muscle tissues.
Yeah.
When you sleep, your body, your cells are replenishing, and this is how you grow muscle tissues, to be honest, right? But this coming down to my thought process why Pobga, he might start a new podcast called Podcast. to be honest.
Okay.
But I think that he was ever since he left United, he's been struggling with injuries and testosterone. I find it weird the tweet that was saying he was tested positive for testosterone, and it's like, well, lucky it's not estrogen, because testosterone is the natural male hormone. Of course, if you test him, you got to have testosterone. But what I'm trying to say, well, there's something called TRT, which is a hormone replacement. And a lot of people are doing it by prescription, legally by doctors, and a lot of people take it for, to recover for injuries, because testosterone is the male hormone that enables you to recover faster, to heal injuries, the way that I know. So do you think that this is the reason why Pobga was taking testosterone? If he did, obviously he's not a bodybuilder, so it's got to be for that reason.
Okay, so testosterone, first of all, would not make Pobga run any faster in the pitch.
No.
Right? There's other things that will do that, so that's not going to happen. It won't make him more, how would I put it, aggressive with his teammates. He's just not that personality. So if he was taking, I'm far be from me here. We got to be very careful legally what we say.
Yes, yes.
So I'm very mindful how I comment on this. So if he was taking testosterone synthetically, testosterone has a long and short half-life, as in how long it stays in the body. So him testing positive for testosterone, his doctor was very, very silly. Okay? If that was the case, why didn't his doctor prescribe something with a short half-life that would be in and out of his body and he wouldn't test positive? Again, I got to be very careful what I say here on the show. I'm not saying he was or he wasn't, because that's going to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. But let's just say, if you're going to do it, there's a way of doing it if you want to do it right. Look, it's professional sports. There's a case, if anybody wants to go Googling, Google Operation Porto. Okay?
Okay, Operation Porto.
Operation Porto. Okay? In it, I'm not going, again, we cut it down to bare bones. Bare bones.
Yeah.
For many, many years, there was blood bags stored in Barcelona of professional sportsmen. Football, Formula 1, tennis, and basketball. Only the names were released of the cyclists. And all those bike riders got 2-year bans.
Armstrong.
No, it wasn't Lance. This was after Lance retired. Okay? So basically there was a Spanish doctor called Emilio Fuentes. Okay? His offices were raided. The blood bags were seized. His computer files were seized.
Mm-hmm.
The Spanish police passed on the names of the athletes to the national governing bodies. So football got it, tennis got it, basketball, Felding got it. Cycling acted and banned all the riders. Football did nothing. Nothing. Okay?
Corrupted sport.
Right? Yeah. The judge in the case, when Fuentes went on trial, ordered that the bags of blood be destroyed. No body, no crime. Spanish police got an injunction that they couldn't be. But now, because the statute of limitations passed in Spain, the bags can never be tested. So any footballers, tennis players, or Formula 1 that are in those files or on those bags, they walk away. That is professional sport.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to slag off Pobga.
No, absolutely no.
I flagged him off for his performance from the pitch. He's no longer a United player. So I'm here to slag him off. So don't want to think that I am, because I'm certainly not.
No. I'm just thinking, like, what is the reason behind it? Why in that case?
Recovery.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
And it could be in the form of cream. It doesn't
it could be a cream. It could be a cream.
at the end of the day, like, he's a Muslim as well, yeah. Because
Yeah.
in Muslim, it's like haram to take any drugs or
Yeah.
those kind of things. He's clean. He doesn't drink alcohol. So I'm
Yeah.
just finding it very suspicious in that case. Why would he inject testosterone otherwise? You know what I mean? But as you
Craig
said-
Craig Warby is saying here, Jay, who your favorite cyclist? Mr. Miguel Indurain. You like Miguel Indurain? Yeah, Miguel, 5 tours, won at 85 kilos body weight. Big respect to Miguel Indurain. My favorite rider, Craig, answer your question, was none other than Mario Cipollini, the flamboyant, charismatic Italian sprinter. Thanks for the question, Craig.
Yeah, big up. Ichi is saying here, Ichi Chinky Kojak saying, Kino used to love a drink, but usually, he usually
that's true. That's true.
Angie is saying 54 likes. People, sorry, we need 100 likes. What Angie is saying. Like and subscribe to the best MUFC live stream on YouTube. Big up. Thank you, Angie. Listen, I'm just going to go back to the stream here, to the VAR room. What you guys are saying. I want to read out your comments. What Jonathan Ball is saying. I used to fight Carrick's corner so much with United fans who complained he was another Keane. He wasn't another Keane. Yeah, Carrick was good. Absolutely good.
Yeah, he was, but he wasn't signed to replace Keane. You don't replace a player like Roy Keane. Roy Keane was a once-generation player. Same way we didn't replace David Beckham. Beckham was never replaced. Gary Neville, as much as I dislike him as a pundit, right back he was never replaced. So Roy Keane was never, you couldn't replace Roy Keane. But I take your point that the fans were almost comparing Carrick to Keane. Different player entirely. Totally unfair.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Edward Reed. Like, there's a lot of people taking performance enhancing, what do you call it, drugs like SARMs and stuff like that. It's all for, for recovery. Even Onana was done by taking pregnancy pills by mistake by his wife. If you remember, he got banned as well.
Yeah,
so
by mistake. By
mistake. I don't know what that does. Haaland is a robot. He has oils in his vein, not blood. What Best is saying. Listen, big up for you. Listen, at the end of the day, we got to move on. We got to keep it fluid, right?
Of course, we move on.
Right. I want to hear your opinion regarding a certain player. I protect the badge. I protect the squad. And that's my stance. I speak facts. I believe in the legal system, but I don't believe in gash. I don't believe in gossip. And I certainly want to hear your opinion regarding what the hell went down with Antony dos Santos.
Yeah, I suppose we're now going to park Antony dos Santos and his performance on the pitch and go into the storm that we've seen. Like, a mutual friend of both of ours, I won't mention the chap's name, sent me this transcript, and within 30-40 seconds, I had to stop reading because it was just female gibberish. I had to stop reading. That 30 seconds of that interaction, those messages, told me pretty much what I needed to know. I personally believe Antony, he's been done. He's been done, personally. Yeah.
It's a money grab.
Yeah, it's a money grab.
It's a money grab.
Yeah.
This is what I want to say as well. And I smell the money grab because at the end of the day, I keep saying at the end of the day, but if you know Brazil and if you know the consequences, if you know the geography of Brazil, if you've been there, there's more female than males. There's 3 ratio and 1. That's the thing. I have a lot of Brazilian mates as well. And if you go down there, you end up coming home and getting married.
I ain't going. Keep me away from Brazil.
Honest to God, they're not looking to, to score anything. They're just looking to get married with somebody to save them from the slums and save them.
Okay.
It's not a privileged life. Rio de Janeiro is a very dangerous city as well. Antony is a very humble person. He played barefoot. He came from poverty, so he played it well up. I would say that footballers are an easy target, especially if you read the transcripts and stuff like that. It's even in the transcript, this Ingrid was saying that he's a really nice guy. I don't really want to hurt him, but he was a little bit of a bitch fight between these girls, jealousy, right? Who to get him. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a little bit of a shakedown because there is no police reports, there's no evidence. Anyone can walk out and hit himself in the head and take a photo and say, Jay Daly hit me. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, prove it.
And on the back of perfectly planned shakedown, it came out after the Greenwood. Now is the good time. So I feel it's kind of the Me Too highway coming back again.
Mm.
It's a difference between having a moral compass, because under no shape or form do we, accept the domestic violence.
Absolutely not. Of course we don't.
Absolutely. But I speak rather facts than looking at allegations. And I've been saying that all along. I keep my powder dry to say, let the jurisdiction system takes its course, right? Why are you pointing fingers because you have a moral compass? You're personally touched by morality, and there's a minority of propagandists to also point fingers and say, you're rapist, you're this, you're that, you're that. There's been so many people that got their careers destroyed, but at the end of the day, it came down to money, payoff. Cristiano Ronaldo also have to pay off this so-called bar lady in Las Vegas as well. If you read into further down to the report, it's a lawsuit. Basically, they want 100 million out of him.
Obscene money, obscene.
So to have a grown-ass man cry in front of a camera, tears boiling out, reading the body language of the person, it's not often you see a man cry, right?
Agreed.
But if he came to an agreement with the club to say, listen, I ain't gonna play. He told Brazil, I ain't gonna play. I don't feel mentally. It's gonna affect you as your mental health at the end of the day. So I'm sorry. I'm putting my foot down and say this is absolutely rubbish, according to my opinion. Right? I put my stance right now. I have seen no compelling evidence to point the fingers that he's guilty. All I can see is rubbish, to be honest, and all I can see is media is having a meal out of it. Right? The difference is that he went out publicly himself to defend his honor. He went on TV camera to please innocent, because for him, playing football is all that he knows. He came from the streets and the poverties. He's basically has a brother, and he's got mother and 2 sisters. He's providing for the whole family, And honest to God, if you look at him, he looks a little bit like a sissy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he certainly doesn't physically look like an individual that's capable of it. But look, at the end of the day, Mick, you or I or anybody watching, we don't know what has behind closed doors. But I am glad the that interaction between the two ladies has come to the fore. Because again, I only read 30 seconds because I get bored easily. But obviously you read the whole thing. And it's a case that's going to run and run.
I have to. Listen, I have a very good friend of mine who was a famous music producer. He got accused, pointed fingers. During this Me Too movement, there was like 3, 4, 5 girls collaborating, coming forward. It went viral. He got slammed in the media. His career is destroyed. But they proved in the court that this was all false allegations, and all they wanted is money and a little bit of a fame. But if you look at today, he's not producing music anymore. He's already doomed. Once the public eye has cast a vote, you're guilty.
And the individuals that were bringing the case, surely there was criminal action against them for false allegations. Somebody's career.
There was rape allegations. There was everything. They came out to him he said to me wherever I go, if I go to a bar, there's always one girl that come to me and want to become a pop star or something like that. And
fame hungry.
Fame hungry, yeah. And they might have been following him to the room. They might have some intercourse, and she didn't probably get what she wanted, and then she said, I'm gonna get you, right? So I'm gonna accuse you for rape, but it was mutual consent.
I get that. I get that entirely.
Yeah. Anyway, sad news, I think. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're here to talk football, I would
Yeah,
say.
we are. So we got it. We got 5 minutes left, so we got to end the show now on an upper.
Yeah, regarding the takeover gash, right? What do you know?
What do I know? Well, right now, the Glazers are resting on their laurels. They are in no hurry to go anywhere until I think they get at least in excess of 6 billion.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think. They want 6 billion, and they will not leave unless they get that.
Yeah. I just had a conversation with the Swedish Rumble as well, just before, like, and I had a chat.
Okay,
with him.
so you know more than I, so off you go.
Yeah, just if you tuned into this channel, you know that we always talk about, the providing a voice of reason, looking at the logical stuff, the facts at the end of the day. And it has been a ping pong match between the media. You have the sports journalists coming out to say, according to my sources are close to the sales process, and it's like, that's a standard quote. None of them have actually connections with the Qatari side. All of them have some form of connection with some club official that is leaking the information, but those club officials are not part of the sales process, or they're getting snippets from the Ineos side of it as a PR tool. Now, what came out today, I spoke to Phil Brown as well. He was supposed to come on to the show, but he's having a knee surgery, so he sends his regards. So if you're watching, Phil, big up to you, Phil de Bruin. And he came out with I'm going to display this. Do you mind if I pull this up, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So on the back of everything came out today from Mail Sport from Mike Keegan, who everyone's calling credible source, right? We have a super chat, Tokos Kasem. I will answer to you soon. I'm just going to cover this, mate. So remind me. I'm going to come back to you. So Mike Keegan has been kind of accurate, but he doesn't really. I checked with the Qatari side. He doesn't have any connections with the 92 Holding Foundation. Qataris don't speak. They've been confident, been quiet ever since that Ramadan. So all you can hear is coming out from the Ineos side. So it starts off like, with a report saying that Mail Sport, we don't have a conclusion. I checked this morning with those close to the process. Who have you checked? Did you call up Rain Group? Hi, it's Mikey. Yes, Mikey. Hey, how you doing? And who says it's ongoing. One source described the Glazers are very patient people. Okay, you might have sitting in a bar or a bar. I just don't. This is for me like, I have nothing to write, so I'm just creating something. Okay. Point number one. Number two, coming back to what Phil also saying. It's basically always saying this: the media is playing catch up 2 months behind, and I'm going to debunk why. Yeah, he's saying for what he understands. This is a personal opinion, though. It doesn't say the timeline. It says the Glazers are trying to convince Ineos to not just let them stay, but have a voting rights on the board. Right? Ineos have talked about walking away if this insists. Right? Ineos, Rain, and Glazers have had talks over the past couple of weeks, actually past couple of months. So what is that telling you? I want to use your logic and reasoning. What is that telling you?
The Glazers are making everybody dance to their tune. They're literally like the puppet master.
Okay.
They're calling the shots. They're in no hurry to go anywhere.
Okay.
That's what's telling me.
No. This has also been fueled by the Muppeteers, who's been singing the Sir Jane Radcliffe tune as well, saying all along there's been American investors. They don't want these Middle Eastern investors. It's been clear and obvious, right? There's a certain thing. But what I said here, and I'm going to quote, and I said that the way I understand it, this is Ineos' PR strategy, planned out to the press, as the losers always will announce the defeat before the winner. It is logical, since the story saves face as an excuse why they didn't get the bid. Remember, they are also, Ineos is a brand conscious company.
Yeah,
right?
massively.
I think the only person in this case is, from my understanding, The one that will break the story, get exclusive, is Bloomberg and Reuters. They will get the announcement scoop, right? It's what you see in the sports journalists trying to downplay Bloomberg and Reuters. On the other hand, as well, this does not make sense, and I will bring this up, right? This was by the Athletic long time ago to say why Joel and Avram could retain control of Manchester United. Obviously there is a number of Class A shares floating around. Like Glazers own about 110 million Class B shares. But what they're suggesting in this tweet does not make sense because Class B shares hold 10 times more voting rights than Class A shares. So even if you sell 69%, that converts into Class A shares. That means that the Glazers sitting there will have more voting power than Sir Jim Radcliffe. Do you understand that?
Which
Right.
makes no sense whatsoever for
No.
any of us. 0 sense.
No. And why would you then buy a club and have no voting power? You clearly don't want to be the minority investor here. You want to have
So the balance of power in essence will still rest with the Glazers in that context.
Yes. So for me, it sounds more and more likely what came out from people who've been downplaying Neil Costis from The Sun. Obviously Neil Costis get leaks from a certain source within the club to say, he's confident Sheikh Yassim, and it will be in October, November. And why he's saying October, November? Because the financial year finishing off at the end of the year and the new transfer window starts, right? It does not make any sense whatsoever on a financial flip side if we're going to talk about the sponsorship, Jay, right? If we're going to do that. You see that I'm wearing the Snapdragon shirt.
I do, certainly.
Okay. Snapdragon by itself is already a major sponsor of the club, right? I worked for Snapdragon for 1 year doing the global esports tour, like, all the Counter-Strike, CSGO, Dota, and all that stuff, right? So I was away last year with Snapdragon for and Manchester United for a couple of shooting as well. So I know what Snapdragon is all about, Qualcomm. At the end of the day, TeamViewer, their contract, they want to walk away from this contract. They could not afford it. So Manchester United made a commercial deal to say, okay, stay on this season. Not for 40 million, but half the price. And we will find a replacement. So Qualcomm and Snapdragon has taken on this for 1 season only. For 1 season only. And that is next year. Okay. But people were saying, oh, well, that means the Glazers is going to stay. Oh, what about the Adidas deal as well, worth 900 million, right? But that is 2025. This is an extension of an existing deal that is 2 years away. Now, if you look at the current financial situations, they can't even operate the club.
No, they can't.
Honestly, they took a last credit line from Bank of America back in January, December, for the summer window. That was widely reported 120 million, 150, right? What happened in the January window was that we had to go on the loan market because we couldn't touch that money that was strategically pledged for the summer window. So Ten Hag and the team had to plan carefully. What should we get? We should not overspend. We have this budget. That's true, right? Glazers will not give them any more. It's like you selling me the car. You're selling me your Fiat Ritmo, whatever you call it, small Fiat Ritmo. And I say, well, I really love it, Jay, but I want some extra rims on it, like shiny chrome rims. Yeah, no.
Mick, just for the record, anybody watching, I would be caught dead in a Fiat.
To be honest. But so evidence is pointing, factual evidence pointing that we have to finesse the deals, right? Ten Hag made a list. Murta was playing fetch. We know how incompetent he is. He's not a proper director of football, but he tries. He tried. I'm not going to defend him, right? The shambles. We appoint Matt Hargreaves as the chief negotiator, who is, by the way, from Adidas, right? The shirt sponsor deal that we just signed, right? Or extended for. So he was part of that negotiation as well. But here we go. Summer window played out. We got Mason Mount early. Nobody understood why did we get Mason Mount. We saw that Chelsea wanted silly money, 75 million. We got him around 50, 55 approximately, right? We saved money. Then we went to the market to grab, okay, we need to get rid of David De Gea, right? Because I want to play out from the back. We got Onana in. Negotiations, right? And then we got Rasmus Højlund. So the remaining window, we sold 22 academy players. 22. Kept 4 that we went out alone. So what is telling you that he looks at the entire squad, and once they are not for the future, he will ship off. And it's all about balancing the wage bill. At the end of the day, the FFP is a fallacy, fake financial predictions, but it's all about trimming the squad. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So this
what
window,
with the VR room, are they with you?
Yeah, I'm just talking. So this window was always about to get the outs out, the fire sale of 13 players, which turned out to be more than 20, right? When in history have you ever seen any gaffer do that?
Absolutely never.
And being approved by the Glazers. So at the end of the day, Glazers say, we don't care. Here's your kitty. Here's your 100. You do whatever you want. You finesse it. We're not going to grant you any more money because we're selling the club. At the end of the day, they didn't want to sell Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire didn't want to leave. It wasn't them blocking. It was Harry Maguire that blocked it, right?
And Scott McTominay, remember? He would go to Fulham.
Scott McTominay was not enough time to go to Fulham. Yeah. Scott McTominay fell down to Paulinho, and the deal fell through Bayern. Paulinho went there for a medical and everything. He had everything sorted out, while Fulham was trying to negotiate with Manchester United, but didn't have enough time. So they basically had to retract Paulinho and kept Scotty, right? So at the end of the day, it comes down to they cannot afford to run the club. They're himself in crisis, to be honest. Buccaneers are owned over $300 million as well. It's all been leveraged as well by Michael Glazers as well. We are in the biggest financial crisis since 2018. Recessions, credit crisis. Bank of America will not give them more loan. They are over $1 billion in debt. So it comes to time where you have to repay the bond. And Bank of America set a time.
I was just going to say, Mick, when the chickens come to roost, the Glazers have no other option but to sell.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. So whatever the media is spinning, you just always have to look at the finances. Tell me if there is any now you see me, now you don't, some magical Houdini act that comes up. Poof. Somebody's going to give them $6 billion. Logically speaking, one thing the Glazers know, it's money, right? And not to communicate, to keep silence. By keeping silent creates more attention, creates more confusion, creates more clicks, creates more money in social media interaction. That's always been the recipe. That's my opinion, though, right? But at the end of the day, if somebody comes to say, this is a very smart idea, business idea. If somebody comes and say to you, hey, I will clear the $1 billion debt that you've been racking up. You've been partying, you've been drinking VIP, Grey Goose champagnes and all that. You've been splashing out the cash on credit card, but I'm going to solve that. I'm going to clear all that restaurant bills that you've been creating for the past 18 years. Plus, each and every you that was partying at this table, 6 of you, get $1 billion each to walk away. Do you say, clearly, honest to God, do you say that I want more? No, I would say thank you for clearing my debt.
Hand off. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
thank you for clearing my debt. And $6 billion is overvaluation of the club. We would take that, and each of everyone will invest in our own ventures. Thank you so much. So what I'm saying at the end of the day, it's been a patience game. Like, if you know that Qatar, they can afford to buy a Ferrari, right? They can. So can Sir Jim Radcliffe. He can also afford to buy that red Ferrari, but he cannot afford to fuel it and drive it in the long run. But on the other hand, Qatar can buy that Ferrari and they own a freaking petrol station. Right? So I was in a debate today and say, what if Ineos wins? Well, we just have to back it, because if that offer came 1 year ago, everyone would jump on that. Everyone will say, yes, take it. But since the manifestos has come out, it's clear and obvious that that 92 Holding Foundation, They only want to do the best in class, right? Whenever Qatar goes in, they go big, right? They put the best in class people. Take City as an example, how the well-oiled run, the structure is. They only appoint the best in class, and they will win at all costs. I'm saying that City's been inflating and cheating a bit because they don't have any fans. So, but we don't have to worry about that because Manchester United as a club is profitable enough to live on our own revenues. All we need is somebody to come in and clear the debt, invest in the infrastructure, in the women's team, and changes will not happen over one night, Jay. Even if you have new owners coming in, you still have to do a cultural shift. You have to suck everyone aboard Erik ten Hag or assess everyone who is not part of that. Just clean house with the old Woodward era, and just appoint the right people. And that's going to take time. So it is the long game. I can agree, it's a long game. But Rome wasn't built in one day, Jay and people. But when it was built, it was beautiful. It was cultivated, and it was a winning powerhouse. That's what I wanted to say. I want to go back to your super chat. Any comments, Jay, what I just said? Does it make logic and sense?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best sum-ups a situation I've actually heard. I think it's very, very clear. I can see a thought process. I love the analogy that Radcliffe can buy a Ferrari, no problem, nothing. But Qataris, they can buy 10 Ferraris and they have the petrol station. I love that.
Yeah.
It really puts it on the context.
Because if Qatar comes out in public to say, we announced we are going to bid for Manchester United, they're not going to lose. They're going to overbid.
Because they cannot lose face. They cannot. Yeah.
And for them to take debt is haram, according to Islamic banking. There's no interest, there's no debt. So basically, if you're going to take over the club, it's going to be debt-free. It's going to only be run on profits. So if you ask me, if Ineos wins this bid, you can only take how they run Nice as an example and rest on your laurels.
That's been a shit show.
Yeah. Point number two, why I see this as debunking what the media is saying here as well, because you got to remember the legal action challenge from the Class B minority shareholders as well, because they want to cash out as well. So they don't really like what Ineos is doing here, basically. That means that they're leaving the minority Class A shareholders like Lindsay Train, Boeing Group, Arias, and all that stuff out of the dark, right? That's the thing. It's been clearly reported that they are threatening to sue. Complications of this deal is because of Ineos, right? So what I'm seeing here right now, reading between the lines, is basically a concession to say, I'm going to leak out to this press, right? To say that this is the way it went down, because we want to save face at the end of the day. We are not cash rich. If you look into the history of Ineos, sure, they hold a lot of companies, but they're not cash rich. They're asset rich, right? So for you to come in to say, if you're Joel Glazer, I come to you, Jay, and say, listen, I cannot afford to buy you right now. I want your Ferrari, but I'm willing to put your down payment on 2 billion, roughly here. But in 3 years' time, I might pay you the rest. But it's all depending how the market is going. Now, for them thinking, well, hang on a second, why should I sit in your hands right now? What if the stock market is not performing? Because this deal only works if the stock price is high. But if it's trading on 18, 19, they lose out.
It's high risk, high reward.
Yep.
So it depends then, are the Glazers risk averse or risk takers?
Well, so if you compare, yeah, it's true. If you compare the current situation, what they're sitting in, they're stint, they're broke, they need money, or should we take a punt to say maybe within 3 years? By then we will be freaking bankrupt. So that's why I want to sort of apply a cool and composed,
yeah, of course,
sort of thing to calm down people. I've been saying it for quite a while, because the elephant in the room is not the Glazers that's spinning you dizzy. It's actually the media that's spinning you dizzy, right? Because one day they're saying it's on, one day they're saying it's off, and they keep going backwards and forwards.
Because basically, Mick, the English media do not want Qataris taking over. That's what it boils down to.
Yes, and there is a reason also confirmed by my, I'm not going to say ketchup mayonnaise.
Your contact.
my contacts, there is some senior officials up there that are leaking information. They've been doing it for years as well.
Yeah.
And they know that as soon as the new ownership is coming in, let's say United TUS Holding Foundation, they're going to lose the jobs. The gravy train is over. So it's pretty much scratch my back, scratch yours. And this is the way the cookie crumbles. Same goes with the transfer market. Agents will utilize media to leak out stories, to inflate the bidding price regarding the player. And the same thing goes here as well. Like there's certain officials that will leak out stories to certain journalists, and they know that the gravy train will finish. The buck will stop with the new owners if it's United TUS Holding Foundation. But on the other hand, if it's these so-called ours British who lives actually in exile, he doesn't live there, and has a company that's also registered in Isle of Man tax-free. And that's why they're creating this narrative in terms of divide and conquer. You know, you see now the sales process regarding the movements, the greenwashing, the sports washing, the human rights, the LGBTQ, the rainbow, and all that stuff. It's been amplified. Fingers been pointed. There's certain Irish journalist that's been leading this as well. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, gobshite.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So everything, if you backtrack, everything is there. It's all written, right? But people have short memories. They just go to read the headlines and they get panicked.
Remember what I always say, a lot of fans have their sheep with the attention span of a goldfish.
Mm.
I believe that's the vast majority of the fan base. We see it in Twitter all the time.
Yeah. It's like Finding Nemo, Doris. Keep on swimming.
Yeah, totally. You say, Mick, there was a super chat there to read out.
Yes, I'm getting to that. Sorry for guys for we didn't miss you. Hang on a second.
Super chat, super chat, super chat.
Super chat.
And finishing off that note, thank you. We've been talking, and sorry, we didn't forget you people. You know, I'm going to start with Tox Kazim. This is like an Arsenal deflated balloon at the end of the season. Can EPL or the UK government force the Glazers to sell? Because it's obvious the Glazers are holding Manchester United as a ransom. I leave this to you, Jay. What do you reckon? They can certainly not, but they can influence. Governments are definitely involved in certain decisions. If you look at...
Well, look at what happened with Chelsea. If the political will was actually there, politically, then I would say yes.
Good question. What happened to Chelsea and who actually got the money from the sales? Basically, Abramovich was sanctioned and stripped out.
Yeah.
So they robbed his club.
Now but we know we know that was geopolitical for the proxy war in Ukraine, which we're not even going to get into.
No, we're not going to talk about.
That's a whole other story.
I don't want to be censored, but I'm saying, all I'm posing the question: where did that money go? Okay. If you own that Ferrari, Jay, and somebody just comes and steals it for you, and they sell that Ferrari, who gets the money? Certainly not you.
Oh, absolutely not.
So I'm interested to understand who got that money at the end of the day. How much did they sell it for? 2.4 million, 2.7?
Thereabouts.
Okay. Interesting question. Anyway, Nigel Finn, big up to you. Thank you for your donation, super chat. Hi, Mick and Jay. A bit of coincidence that Sir Jim Radcliffe starts leaking info now about Glazers wanted to have voting rights if they chose Ineos, and he will walk away as he will be absolutely not accept this. He said that as well, Jay. Sorry, I'm a little bit dyslexic. Jay, can you read this out for me?
Okay. Hi, Mick and Jay. A bit of a coincidence that Sir Jim starts leaking the info now about the Glazers wanting to have voting rights if they choose Ineos, and he will walk away as he will have absolutely not accept this. Nor Mick, nor should he. It's like as Mick, go back to Mick's analogy with the Ferrari. It's like I send Mick my Ferrari on the pretext of that I get it Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just go back to his public interviews and say that
Yeah.
he's owning Ineos with two other mates, and their dream is always to own a Premier League club. He bid it for Chelsea. It's good in what he said. He came late. That's how he got in contact with Ineos. Right? That's why he came in late. Now, he sees Manchester United as a prize jewel, right? Anyone wants to have this legacy to own. Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't own Manchester United? It's the biggest club in the world, right? But the question is, yes, owning it and operating is two different things. You bought Ineos, you bought Nice, and you just left it to rot at the end of the day. Yeah. So all I'm saying is I'm just comparing apples to apples to say, look, here's somebody with petrol station, multiple Ferraris, that wants to, there's a Manchester United fan that's willing to give to the community. And by the way, the Qataris, they own almost half of the infrastructure in UK. So if you talk about governmental deals, yes, the Emir of Qatar was there for coronation of King Charles. He was there one day before with Richie Sunak to talk about strategical oil and gas LNG pipeline deals, and also investing in UK, which was a deal that he also came and spoke to Boris Johnson 1 year before. So if you're telling me that geopolitics and football don't go hand in hand and influence, it does. I think so.
Of course it does. Look, Qatar got the World Cup, for God's sake. So of course go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're super chats before we go.
Yeah. Another one, a shot, an uppercut coming from Nigel Flynn with another €10 shot. 100%. Deflated also with a balloon again. Also, the chemical industry is entering recession. Yes. And Ineos are the second company that have posted net loss that have implications for Sir Jim Radcliffe and Ineos bid, according to Bloomberg. True. Guys, if you have a chance, go Google Ineos and Me, a documentary on YouTube. You will find it. And you will totally understand the amount of debt they're in and what they own and what the strategy is in terms of fracking and everything else. The coincident fact, but I also unveiled that underneath the ground of Old Trafford, they own the fracking rights.
Are you serious?
They do. They bought the fracking
What
rights.
a revelation. Oh my God.
Ineos owns the fracking rights for all the natural gases that runs underneath the whole Greater Manchester area.
I did not know that.
So you can question the motive. Why do you want to buy the land asset? Obviously, you demolish down the stadium and you start fracking eventually when the energy crisis is getting worse, when people are not having chances to heat themselves. Strategical.
That's profound. Wow.
There is
Nigel Flynn, thank you for that chat. That has really now opened my eyes. And I will watch that documentary on YouTube. Thank you, Nigel.
Yeah. There is an article out there, but not very, very open to the public. If you can do searches about, I think it's called, they bought the license basically around Hume and everything else. Anyway, so Nigel Flynn is coming out with another super chat uppercut with €5 to say, I could be wrong, lads, but I feel that the reason some of these journeys are pro Ineos is if Sheikh Yassim wins, they lose the United sources.
Oh, that's spot on. They will absolutely positively lose their sources. That's 100%.
We're talking about ketchup and mayonnaise sauces. The gravy train will be gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for all the super chat. Paul Greaves is in the house. Everyone, big up for tuning in. There is about so many, 200 in the chat room, in the VR room. Sorry if we could not read out all of you. It's been very intense, Jay. We had a
Come on, guys, smash a like and share. We got 200 watching. Please, everyone, smash like and share, please.
And people say, Jay, don't fall asleep. I think it's time for you to sleep, buddy.
Dude, listen, I've had 5 days on the lash in Magaluf. Okay? Today, I went to work today, obviously, to deal with all the problems that were when I gone. I'm in pieces, my friend. Absolute pieces.
Oh, yeah. But you had a rough week in Magaluf. You had fun.
Oh, yeah, I had fun.
You felt like 21 again, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Big up, big up. Listen, can you please show where we're saying? Mark is saying, what do you say, Mark? Can you please show where we can call in when Jay is on? Would love to chat to him. Probably not today. I think Jay is ready he's turning into a pumpkin. PJ's on.
Yeah, definitely at some stage we'll do a call-in. Yeah,
Next Wednesday.
If people wanted, I know people tune in, but everyone's got to smash a like and share right now before we consider it.
Okay, let's make a deal, Jay. Everyone smash a like right now, and next Wednesday we'll make a call-in, okay? Do you want to do that?
Yeah, hit that like and share right now, guys. Share it on Twitter. Share it out there, guys. Call-in show next Wednesday, but everyone smash like right now.
Yeah, please. Don't forget to smash and like. Jay Daly, what are you looking forward for on the Saturday match?
It's going to be a shit show. No, I'm not. We're going to get smashed.
Really?
We're going to get smashed.
Are you changing your diapers yet?
No, dude, we're getting smashed. We lose 3-1.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear your PTSD score prediction then.
3-1. Brighton.
To Brighton?
Yeah. We're getting opened. We're getting opened.
Don't jinx it. Alien Tenor was here the other night too, yesterday, and said 3-1 Brighton. As
well, yeah.
He said, Alien Tenor is here. He can agree with you. He's sitting here. Please, guys, don't jinx it. Alien Tenor can confirm because he also said 3-1 to Brighton. I said, hey, Peter, are you mad? Please, the footballing guys are listening. Anyway, my friend, as per usual, we see you for the post-match reaction show if you're around.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Definitely.
Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been 1 hour and 26 minutes. It's been Mick Roby here with my fact-talking guy, Jay Daly. Nice to see you again. And everyone that's tuning in, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And Jay, where can the people follow you?
I changed my handle in homage of my main man, Mourinho. So now it's Jay Daly Mourinho on Twitter.
You're a big Mourinho fan.
I love Jose. You know that.
Jose all the way. Would you welcome Jose back, though, if he had an opportunity? Or is this...
With the current players, no. They're too soft. So no.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. It's been absolutely a pleasure talking to you, all of you. It's been an amazing stream. Jay, thank you so much, and wish you a good night's rest. Recovery is everything, Jay.
Absolutely. And tomorrow, God knows I need recovery.
Is it biceps tomorrow, chest day?
No, tomorrow is easy day Tomorrow is easy. Triceps and calves and abs. Easy day tomorrow. Small muscles. Easy day.
Okay, lads, please have a good night and don't let the bed bugs bite you. It's
night, guys.
Ruby and Jay Daly having a say what we say: peace, love, and banana. But what we say here: peace, love. Thank God we have banana. Good night, people. Bye for now.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.